And very often when lots of people who wrestle with things like self-esteem, they're wrestling with an idea that's not them. It's an idea that they've been given about themselves. I should be this, I should be like that, or I believe like that. That's an idea that somebody else has given them. It's got nothing to do with who you are. So we need to be careful when we talk about things like self-belief. What is the self?
Yeah.
Before we can talk about believing in self, we need to look at what the self is.
Yeah.
And that's an exciting process.
Yeah.
That's an exciting process. That's the invitation for anybody. That's an interesting journey to go on.
So as a life coach, what sort of services do you offer to people? Do you just individuals, businesses? Or?
A real mixture, and it's kind of happened organically. I work with anybody who's really wanting to find success and happiness, really. So it could be somebody who's like, where am I going next in my career? Which is many people. Might be people whereby they're looking to find themselves, they feel a bit lost, they feel a little bit directionless.
Yeah.
I work with probably about half my clients, people who run their own businesses, but equally I run workshops and talks for organisations.
Yeah.
But actually, in a way, wherever it is, your business coaching, career coaching, corporate coaching, teenage coaching, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Because once you can find the magic in the individual, they will flow. Any sports coach will tell you this. It's about seeing the magic in that person, bringing it to their attention, and then you're polishing that up. So for me, I always will work with people of all backgrounds. I don't want to make any distinction in terms of colour, class, creed, or anything else, or what somebody's job title is. It's connecting with that person, the person at the core of all of that kind of stuff, because everyone has the same issues, shall we say, that they wrestle with in life. Relationships, this, self-esteem, blah, blah, blah. It's the same boring stuff time and time again. And it can be addressed quite easily if we're able to put on hold all the perceptions that we have about ourselves and really connect in that space. So it's a privilege when you are working with people one-to-one. It's just quite powerful. So I'm very lucky I found the thing that I'm passionate about, and my passion is helping people be themselves so they can find what they're passionate about, so they can enjoy life based on what they're passionate about. It's quite simple. And my frustration with personal development is often people overcomplicate it. It's very, very, very simple. Ultimately, it is what is that's really important to you in your life. Giving yourself that time to really honour the things that are important to you in your life, in your relationships, and in business or career. But having the challenge is, of course, having the courage just to follow your heart and to listen to your heart, to listen to yourself rather than everybody else. Listen to your body rather than everybody. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you when you're tired, your body will tell you when you need to work, your body will tell you when you need to relax, your body will tell you when you need support. But very often we negate this, very often we're not listening. Hence dis-ease, being not at ease with ourselves emerges. Once we are in tune with ourselves, it happens. But I think that because we live in a world where there's so much content and so many messages about what you should be, this is why many people feel that they're lost at the moment. But taking time out just to centre oneself and ask what's really important to me. Even if somebody who's watching this just stops and asks, what is it that's really important to me in my life? Sit with that question. Answers will begin to bubble up. And follow that. Follow that. It's a very natural process. It requires a bit of courage, but it's a very natural and it's a very enriching process.
Have you got any questions for Rashid at all?
I was just thinking about, through what you were saying about discovering yourself, and obviously, as you said, it is a process. How long is it a process? Because I'm thinking, obviously, as we grow up through life, we discover new things about ourselves, about other people, about ourselves as well. So surely this is something that's lifelong.
Yes and no. Yes and no. It's an interesting one. I think that really change is something that happens in a moment, but often the debris settles over a period of time. So, sometimes, and it happens for many people, very often what will happen for some people, they may have been wrestling with this or that, and very often very serious things will come in. You have a bout of real ill health, or you have a bereavement, or you have a relationship breakup that's very serious. Suddenly you stop, and life you find life staring at you in the face, and you kind of see the illusion around life kind of shatters, and you see life as it is. So I think if we're open to life, changes can happen quite quickly. We can accept ourselves as we are. I kind of think that it can be a very natural process, and it can happen quite quickly. The ramifications of that can happen over a period of time. And I think, yes, the learning and the experiencing of life will happen over a period of time. But I don't think happiness is something that takes a long time to arrive at. I think that's something that is very immediate if we're happy to embrace and accept life. Acceptance is one of the words in life that's got a very bad name. We kind of feel that accepting means I'm accepting my lot. Accepting means that, you know what, at the moment it's sunny outside, the next minute it might rain. Fine, we accept that, we embrace it. To my mind, what becomes clear, if we embrace life, life will embrace us. But we need to embrace life, warts and all, because there's sunny weather, there's ill weather.
Yeah.
The moment we do that, then the life can be easy. If we're wrestling with that, then the process will take time. But the moment that we can accept ourselves and everything as it happens, then it doesn't need to be a long process. You see, so often people feel that they need to years and years and years of therapy to try and sort something out. What actually is there to be sorted out? Life is a chain of events, some which you like, some which you don't. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's a series of circumstances, a series of sensations which you're taught to label good, bad and indifferent. A baby doesn't have this challenge. Baby bangs its head one minute, it's doing something, it might be as excited by a watch as it might be a piece of dust, it's not concerned either. Over a period of time our preferences develop and it's our attachments to certain things that therefore create what we label as problems. But once we accept all the ups and downs of life, suddenly you're able to go with it and suddenly your life becomes richer because you appreciate the period of time that you're here on this planet. You're able to appreciate somebody else and the fact that they might want out of a relationship and you might want into it. Okay, you're going to have to wrestle with those emotions, we all do, but the invitation of life is there waiting. Life is there waiting for us as and when we're ready to embrace it. Embrace life will embrace you. But yeah, sometimes it can seem to take a long time. But I think on a very practical level, I think for people very often, I think the invitation is, I think that, you know, don't be afraid to ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself what really resonates with you. Ensure that you surround yourself with people that resonate with you, that feel right for you, and have the courage to do that. That can, sometimes having the courage to follow that. And of course, there are practical issues. And, you know, sometimes that we feel that we need this or that in our lives, or money and so on. Sometimes these things can complicate them. But funny enough, the more it is that you accept life as it is, the more it is that you will be able to connect to these things. And that's really what the book Gift of Inner Success is about. It's telling you that, it's reminding you that all of these things, what is it that lies beneath all of the superficial? What is it that lies beneath the superficial? Most things in life are superficial, they're transient, aren't they? Our job might be transient, the height, even our body shape and all this kind of, these things are transient. So what is this self we're talking about? People say they have low self-esteem. Do they have low self-esteem when they were 8 months old? I don't think so.
No. That's very powerful. And because it's true, when you're a kid, you just don't think about it, you don't worry about those things. But the older you get, then you get influenced by society and the environment around you.
Exactly, and it perpetuates. The problem is that it perpetuates. So what happens is that we then fight with our parents, we fight with this person because we think it's their fault and so on. It's not their fault, they have the same programming that you had. But if you pause and if you stop, and if you look not at one thing, if you look at all of life, this information becomes available to you quite quickly. If we look rather than try and see something from a perspective, if we can just look, which sometimes when life, you know, and we're either going to see that or life will sometimes will come in and suddenly you're ill. Suddenly there's a bereavement. Suddenly you realise that person you thought was the worst person of all time, you realise that that person was trying to find their way in the world like everybody else. And the more it is that you can be true to that, the more it is that you're able to have a life that's healthy for you, and you're able to give and arrive at peace and prosperity in the true meanings of those kind of words, and to enjoy your relationships with everybody else.
Wow, powerful. That leads me to another question to ask you. I mean, a lot of people, as you said, are searching for fulfillment in various areas of their lives. What advice or tips, I know you just gave some, you would give them, you know, what practical advice would you give them? Because I know a lot of people, they find it hard to take in explanation of what life's about, because they're just trying to find themselves. So what practical advice would you give to somebody searching for
Well, it's interesting, because isn't it, if someone's looking for fulfillment, if we're searching for anything, first of all, we need to be clear we know what it means. This is a very serious point, because most of the times we're told success is this. So even your notion of success or fulfillment, what is it? What is, first of all, question, what is success? What is fulfillment? Let's look at this word, fulfillment. Fulfillment, fulfill. Fulfillment is about the wholeness of something, isn't it, to fulfill. When we're born mind, body and spirit. I often point this out, we're born mind, body and spirit. There's nothing that's missing. You never grow an extra brain, you never grow an extra limb.